My father pointed a gun at my face and told me to sign everything over. Right there, in my own house. This wasn't about papers anymore. The click of the gun cut through everything. My breath stalled. My thoughts froze. He stood across from me, arms steady, eyes locked. "Sign it," he said. The papers slammed onto the table and slid toward me. Now, my fingers twitched, but I didn't move. "This is my share," I said. "Grandpa left it to me too." "Stop." My mother leaned in the doorway, arms crossed, watching like this was entertainment. "You really think you deserve any of this?" she said. Her smile was thin, cold. Then Madison walked in. Perfect timing, calm, polished, already acting like the owner. "This is getting pathetic," she said. "Just sign it." I looked at her. "You mean give it to you?" She didn't deny it. "You'd lose it anyway," she said. "You always do." That hit not because it was true, because they believed it. I exhaled slowly. "Yeah," I said. "And what exactly has he done with it?" I nodded toward my father. Silence. Then the gun lifted higher, now aimed straight between my eyes. "One more sentence," he said quietly, "and you won't finish it." My chest tightened. My heartbeat pounded in my ears. I was scared. Of course I was, but something shifted. Not gone, just quieter. Controlled, I wasn't theirs anymore. "You really think this ends with a signature?" I said. His jaw tightened. "You have no idea what you just started." A pause, and then he hesitated. I picked up the pen. My mother leaned in. Madison almost smiled. They thought this was over. I uncapped it, held it above the paper. Then I let it drop. The pen hit the floor. "No," I said, no hesitation, no second thought. "Or what?" I cut in. I stepped back. "Go ahead," I said. My voice didn't sound like mine. "Pull the trigger." Silence. No one moved. For the first time, they didn't know what to do anymore. I turned, grabbed my bag, and this time no one even tried. Outside, I finally breathed. But not relief, certainty. Because my grandfather didn't just leave me land, he left records. Hidden ones. About deals that could destroy everything my father built. And they had just forced me to use them. I didn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the gun. His hand steady. The way he thought I'd break. He expected me to come back. To panic, to fold. But now I knew something he didn't. That wasn't control. That was fear. I sat up and looked across my apartment. The metal chest was still there, exactly where I left it. They always called it junk, old papers, nothing useful. That's why they never touched it. I pulled it closer, set it on the table, unlocked it, lifted the lid. Inside, everything was organized, not messy, not random, deliberate. Folders stacked by year, notes, records, labels. This wasn't memory, this was planned. I started going through it. Property documents, old agreements. Signatures I recognized. I saw his name, my father's, repeated, across multiple deals. At first it looked clean, normal transactions. Then I slowed down, read properly. Line by line, that's where it fell apart. The numbers didn't match. Transfers didn't align. Money was moving, not disappearing, being redirected. I flipped to another file, then another. Same pattern, again and again. Then I saw hers. Madison, her name linked to accounts she had no business touching. Large transfers, too large to be mistakes. A pause, running through her like a shield. I stopped, just stared at it like it might change. This wasn't about taking my share. They weren't trying to win. They were trying to hide something. Something big enough that losing control of that land would expose it. I leaned back, replaying everything. The pressure, the urgency, the gun, it finally made sense. That wasn't power. That was panic. I reached for my phone, paused, lowered it. No. If I moved too early, they'd bury it, deny it, twist everything. So I didn't act. I watched. I kept digging, connecting pieces, tracking patterns, letting the full picture come together. Because if they were willing to threaten me to protect this, then whatever they were hiding was bigger than I thought and dangerous enough to destroy them. And I was the only one who knew. Confronting them would have been a mistake. Too early and they'd bury everything. Deny it, twist it. So I didn't go back. I stayed quiet, and I started building the trap. The next 2 weeks I disappeared. County records office. Property filings, old deeds, trust documents, anything connected to the land. I wanted everything, every signature, every clause, but something felt off. Some records were missing or already altered. That told me everything I needed to know. They weren't just hiding it, they were cleaning it. I kept digging, and then I found it. The land wasn't in my father's control, not really. My grandfather had locked it years ago inside a private trust. I leaned back and finally understood. My name was the only one on it, the only beneficiary, the only one with legal control. They hadn't been trying to take what was theirs. They'd been trying to steal something they could never touch. Now the panic made sense. The pressure, the gun, but I still didn't move. Not directly. I started making calls. Quiet ones, careful ones, anonymous, untraceable. Because if it led back to me too early, it was over. I sent pieces. Never the full picture, just enough. To the right places. A tax contact, a zoning official, a journalist who knew how to ask questions, not accusations, signals. And then I made the move that mattered. I said yes to Madison's engagement party. I didn't tell them. I didn't warn them. I just showed up. Suit pressed. Face calm, like I belonged there because I did. The second I walked in, everything shifted. Madison saw me first. Her smile disappeared. My mother froze mid-sip. And my father, he looked at me like something had just gone wrong. "What are you doing here?" Madison snapped, grabbing my arm. I looked at her. Calm, steady. Making sure everything goes exactly how it's supposed to. She let go. Slowly, I walked past her. Let them watch me. Let them feel it. That something had changed. I didn't say anything else. I didn't need to. I let them enjoy it. The lights, the champagne, the fake smiles. Because by then, the first documents were already moving. The first questions already being asked. And they were standing right in the middle of it, thinking they were still in control. They didn't realize this wasn't a party anymore. It was the last moment everything still looked normal. And the fall had already started. The party didn't end that night, but their control did. I left early, didn't stay for the speeches, didn't stay for the fake smiles. I'd already seen enough. The next morning it started. My father called. Once, twice, then again. I didn't answer. By noon, the first account was frozen. No warning, no explanation, just locked. By evening, 2 more. That's when the messages started. Short, sharp, panicked. "What did you do? Fix this. Call me back." I let them pile up. Unread, because this wasn't something I was doing to them. This was something they had already done. I just made sure it was seen. 2 days later, it got worse. The article dropped. Front page. Clear, detailed, names included. My father's offshore transfers. Madison's accounts. Connections laid out in black and white. Not accusations, evidence. Investors pulled out first. Quietly. Then all at once. Deals disappeared. Calls stopped getting returned. Meetings got canceled. And just like that, everything they built started slipping. That night, they called me 17 times. 17. I looked at the screen, watched it light up again and again, still didn't answer, because I wanted them to sit in it. The silence, the uncertainty, the fear, the same fear they tried to use on me. 3 days after the party, I went back. I didn't knock. The house was different. Quieter, heavier, papers everywhere, phones ringing, voices raised. Madison looked smaller. Her makeup smudged, her voice sharper but weaker. My mother didn't say anything. She just stared. And my father, he looked older, like something had already been taken from him. "What did you do?" he asked. His voice wasn't steady anymore. I walked in slowly, looked around, took it all in. "Nothing," I said, calm, controlled. "Your father did this." He froze. I placed the trust documents on the table, right in front of him. "This was never yours," I said. Silence. The same silence from that night. But this time it belonged to me. I leaned in slightly, just enough for him to hear me. "Next time you point a gun at someone," I said quietly, "make sure you're not already falling." I straightened, turned, and walked out. Behind me, everything was already breaking. Accounts frozen, deals collapsing, names spreading. And this was only the beginning of what they were about to lose. They didn't stop calling. Not after the accounts froze. Not after the article dropped. Not even after everything started collapsing. Missed calls, messages, voicemails. But this time, they weren't threatening. They were begging. I didn't answer. Because for the first time, they were the ones waiting. And I was the one deciding. The fallout spread fast, faster than they could control. The article kept circulating, names attached, Numbers exposed, proof everywhere. People didn't just walk away. They disappeared. Investors pulled out. Partners cut ties. Deals collapsed overnight. And Madison, the one who thought everything would always land in her hands, lost it all in days. Her engagement ended. Publicly, messily, her accounts locked, investigated. The apartment she showed off was taken back. My mother stopped speaking entirely. No insults, no control, just silence. And my father, the man who pointed a gun at me, couldn't even hold eye contact anymore. But I wasn't done. 3 weeks later, I made one final move. I revoked everything. Every permit, every deal tied to the land, every connection he had built using it. Gone, legally, permanently. Their company didn't just weaken, it collapsed. Creditors came next, then lawsuits, then the final notices, and within a month they lost the house. The same house he stood in with a gun, thinking he owned everything. I went back once more, not to argue, not to explain, just to see it. Empty. My father stood outside. Watching strangers walk through what used to be his, he saw me. His face tightened, but this time he didn't speak. He couldn't. I stepped closer, just enough. "You should have pulled the trigger," I said quietly. His eyes widened, not in anger, in understanding, because now he finally saw it. This was never about the papers. This was about everything he thought he controlled, and how easily it could be taken away. I stepped back, looked at the house one last time, then at him. "You didn't lose the property," I said. "You lost everything that made you think you deserved it." I turned and walked away without looking back. Behind me, there was nothing left for them to rebuild, because they tried to take my future with a gun, and I erased theirs with the truth.